Today we continue to listen Anattalakkhana Sutta. First we have to recite Anattalakkhana Sutta Pali. Vedana, Sanna and Sankhara. Number 7, number 8 and number 9. Page 121. Can you follow me? Vedana Nejawa Anejawadi Anejabande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vatan Sukham Vadi Dukkam Bande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vibrinama Dhammam Kalanuta Samanupasito Etamama Eso Masmi Eso Me Atadi No Hitam Bande Sinya Nejawa Nejawadi Anejabande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vatan Sukham Vadi Dukkam Bande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vibrinama Dhammam Kalanuta Samanupasito Etamama Eso Masami Eso Me Atadi No Hitam Bande Sankhara Nejawa Nejawadi Anejabande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vatan Sukham Vadi Dukkam Bande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vibrinama Dhammam Kalanuta Samanupasito Etamama Eso Masami Eso Me Atadi No Hitam Bande. Vedana, Sanna and Sankhara we recite together. Vedana Nejawa Nejawadi Anejabande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vatan Sukham Vadi Dukkam Bande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vibrinama Dhammam Kalanuta Samanupasito Etamama Eso Masami Eso Me Atadi No Hitam Bande Sinya Nejawa Nejawadi Anejabande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vatan Sukham Vadi Dukkam Bande Yambana Nejam Dukkam Vibrinama Dhammam Kalanuta Samanupasito Etamama Eso Masami Eso Me Atadi no hitam bande. Sankhara nechawa nechavati anecha bande. Yambana nechan dukkha sukhavati dukkha bande. Pananejan dukkha viprinama dhammam kalanuta samanupasito etamama esamasami esame attati no hetam bande. Translation, we read together. Monks, what do you think? Is Vedana feeling permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. That which is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change, should it be viewed correctly thus? It is mine, this is I am, this is myself, no Venerable Sir. So regarding feeling, Vedana, Buddha asked the 5 monks, what do you think? Vedana is Vedana, permanent or impermanent? And they realize these Vedana. So they answer anicca bandi, impermanent, Venerable Sir. 3 kinds of feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling, are perceived to be impermanent. It is realized too that they are suffering, they are not safe. So it is important to see the impermanent nature of 3 kinds of feeling. If you realize that the true nature of impermanent nature of feeling, you realize that they are suffering, they are not safe, they are just phenomena. Perceiving them to be suffering and not safe, dukkha and anatta, Buddha continued to ask question. Yampana nechan dukkha vatan sukha vati. That feeling which is impermanent, is that suffering or happiness? The answer, dukkha bandi. That feeling which is impermanent, that is suffering. The 5 bhikkhus answer. So people have liking for sukha within a pleasant sensation. People have liking for so-called happiness, fatal happiness, because they thought these pleasant feelings are enduring, everlasting. But if you see these feelings dissolving fast, every moment, not lasting even for the 10th of a second, you lose desire for them. Just for the sake of enjoying the so-called happiness, just for the sake of enjoying the so-called fatal happiness, they have to go pursuit of it, not for 1 hour, not for 1 day, not for 1 year. The whole life, not only one life, the whole samsara. People have to go to pursue that kinds of sukha vedana, pleasant feeling. The whole life, the whole samsara, they have to search for this happiness, worldly happiness. Now what you are searching for is true happiness, ultimate happiness. Mundane and supramundane not the same. In the practice of meditation, during the practice of meditation, you gain some happiness that is supramundane, not the mundane, not enjoying the sensual pleasures. Happiness gained from meditation. Why in pursuit of this so-called happiness, worldly happiness, people meet their death? There is nothing they can rely upon, even if the happiness he is seeking for is not obtained. He have to find means of avoiding. He have to find means of avoiding unhappiness, unpleasantness, that is maintaining himself in neutral condition. Even as the neutral feeling of neither happiness nor unhappiness is being sought for, physical pain and grief may arise, causing suffering. And suffering can appear because the happy feeling and neutral feeling are not permanent. Suffering can appear because pleasant and neutral are not permanent. Pleasant sensation change to unpleasant. So if we lack happiness, worldly happiness, we also have to accept unpleasant. Because that pleasant change to unpleasant. So the impermanent happy feeling and neutral feeling are also not dependable. To go after the pleasant and neutral is suffering. When they disappear, it is suffering also, because unhappy feeling comes in to take their place. Especially so after the disappearance of the happy feeling, when he may be plunged into the depth of unhappiness. Take for instance, unite a happy family, becoming suddenly bereaved of one dearest of the family members through death or separation. or of someone who has been happy with his wealth and affluence when deprived of them. So they will all become subjected to intense unhappiness, which may cause some of them their lives. So feeling Vedana is terrifying because of its nature of impermanence. And then Buddha asks another question. Yampana nejan dukha viprinama dhammam kananutan samnupasito etamama esohamasmi esomi atta. The question, that feeling which is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, is it proper to regard it as this feeling is mine? This I am, this is myself. The five bhikkhus answer, it is not the Blessed One. So this is the same type of question and answer employed when explaining rupas. The difference is that in the case of rupa, the terms involve not only the material qualities inside the person, but also all those external animate or inanimate objects too. As to the feeling, the main thing is internal one, which we grasp as our own in feeling of happiness, sukha. He takes delight with craving. This is mine. The neutral feeling is devoid of unpleasantness, has the nature of happy feeling. Although attachment to neutral is not so strong as with the proper happy feeling, still there is taking of delight to some extent in that neutral. Unpleasant feeling is no doubt undesirable as such, but you thinking it is I who is suffering, there is still grasping for that unpleasant as self. So attachment to the feeling in this way is brought about by ignorance of the real nature of impermanence, suffering, and subject to change. So meditators are taking note of the feeling as it occurs. You know at once the oppressive nature of feeling. So what is the difference between the meditators and the ordinary person with regard to their knowledge about feeling? There is indeed a very great difference. The ordinary people perceive his feeling in terms of self. I suffer, I feel happy, I feel pain. While delighting in happiness, if the pain goes away, I will feel happy. So he views his feeling all in terms of self, But for the meditators, you know from the beginning, there's just continuous phenomena of aggregates arising and perishing continuously. When unhappy feeling appears, you capture it, you perceive it as an undesirable feeling occurring in the continuous process of Namarupa and renewing itself afresh. They are piercing, poking, stepping. They are renewing itself afresh. So meditator perceive this feeling as another process of rising and perishing, superimposed, putting on top on the first one you has been observing. So for Buddha and Arahants, they see in this way. If people honor them and respect them, or if some people attack to them, they have no liking or disliking, even pleasant feeling, they not liking, unpleasant feeling not disliking. Because the process of arising and disappearing superimposed on the first one they have been observing. So from its very first appearance, meditator recognized its oppressive nature, just like a thorn which comes to be embedded in the flesh. Sukha Vedana, the happy feeling, appears to be pleasant, good, while it is happening, but a lot of effort that has to be put in such of that unpleasurable sensation is suffering itself. Unfortunately, if an unwholesome deed happens to be performed while in the pursuit of that pleasurable feeling, suffering has to be faced in the woeful states to which he will be destined for his unwholesome deeds, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, etc. So taking delight in the pleasurable feeling that arise will keep on renewing the cycle of existences, and their result in suffering of aging, sickness, and death. When that happy feeling disappears, the attachment to it will give rise to intense unhappiness. So happy feeling is to be regarded as suffering. How about neutral feeling? Upekha Vedana, neutral feeling is also regarded as suffering because it is also impermanent. And Vedana Samyutta Pali cannot describe how these feelings should be noted and regarded. Yosukha Dukkha Do Adda Dukkha Madaki Sanlato Adukha Masukan Santa Adakinan Anichato Sawe Saddam Sawe Samadda Sobiku Parijanati Vedana. The bhikkhu has seen the happy feeling as suffering. The bhikkhu has seen the unhappy feeling as a thorn and neutral feeling as suffering too, because of its impermanence. Vedana Samyutta Pali can now describe. And that bhikkhu has seen the feeling rightly so as not to give rise to notions of permanence, happiness and self, and comprehensively knowing all that should be known. The meditator who is all the time engaged in noting, you see the unpleasant feeling as an oppression like a thorn. Meditator report their dukkha vedana like a thorn, piercing, stabbing, poking. And meditator see the pleasant feeling as frightful suffering, having to pursue after it, and because of the pain it causes when pleasant feeling is absent. And the neutral feeling is seen as suffering because of its impermanence and the effort of volitional activities required to maintain it. So when asked by the Buddha whether it is proper to regard feeling as this is mine, this I am, this is myself, the group of 5 monks replied, "No hitam bandi, not indeed the Blessed One." So during this intensive retreat, 2 months, you are observing this feeling the whole retreat. In the beginning, unpleasant, and meditation is better, and then pleasant, and sometimes neutral. You capture every feeling. When Buddha asks these questions, you have to answer. It is Vedana Niccava Anicavati. Is pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, neutral feeling, permanent or impermanent? Because you have been observing this feeling, you very clear. Unpleasant feeling, you suffer a lot, but you note, and then they disappear. And even pleasant feeling, you observe very continuously, and they disappear. Due to condition, it arise. And when there is no concentration, they disappear very quickly. Yampana nechan, dukkha vatan sukha vati. So that is Buddha question. That feeling which is impermanent, it is suffering or happiness. You realize, dukkha bandi. That feeling which is impermanent, it is suffering bandi. Is permanent good or bad? Bad. You answer very sincerely. And Buddha asks, Yampana nechan dukkha viprinama dhamman kanadutan samanupasitong etamama eso amasami eso me atta. That feeling which is impermanent, suffering, subject to change, is it fitting to regard it as this feeling is mine and take delight in it? No, Bhante. Or to get conceited by regarding it as this I am? No, Bhante. Or to be attached to it as this is myself? No, Bhante. So this is the correct answer because you observe the feeling thoroughly. The feeling which is impermanent because of incessant arising and vanishing, suffering and subject to change is taught by the Buddha, not to be viewed as this is mine, this I am, this is myself, so as not to see feeling as being permanent, not to see feeling as being this is mine, this I am, thus causing the arising of craving and conceit. For the ordinary common worldling, for the Putujana, not to cause the wrong view, this feeling is myself. So that feeling is anatta, is explained in terms of characteristics of nature and dukkha, impermanence and suffering. That it is not self is very clear from its nature of oppressing, the characteristic mark of terrible dukkha. So after feeling, regarding feeling, the question and answer of feeling, Buddha continue another question regarding senior perception. Buddha asked the 5 monks, Sinya Nijawa Anijawadi. Is perception permanent or impermanent? And the answer, Anicca Bhante, impermanent blessed one. Sinya is of 6 kinds. Rupa Sinya, Satta Sinya, Gandha Sinya, Rasa Sinya, Potapa Sinya, Dhamma Sinya. Recognizing and remembering visible object, recognizing and remembering sound, recognizing and remembering smell, recognizing and remembering taste, recognizing and remembering touch, and recognizing and remembering what one has thought about. It is Sinya which remembers object you have seen before. So Sinya is essential in learning and remembering what you are studying. A good Sinya will remember for long anything seen or heard only once. So some have photographic memory. So this retentiveness is wrongly taken to be everlasting, to be good, to be safe. So they wrongly take this sinya to be everlasting. But sinya, having recognized what it has seen, vanish. What are recognized later are the function of sinya, which arises later. Also, hearing, smelling, tasting, sinya the same. What is heard and remembered first vanish away, followed by what is heard and recognized later. Now all yogis are taking note of everything seen and heard. You perceive that seeing and recognizing, hearing and recognizing, the two processes vanish together. Knowing in this way, meditator concludes that sinya is also impermanent. Of course, the five bhikkhus were Sotapanna. They also know the same facts, and the answer, when asked by the Buddha, sinya is permanent or impermanent, the answer, sinya is impermanent bandi. Because they found the words of the Buddha, even while being heard and recognized by them, are vanishing rapidly. Now you are observing when I'm talking, you recognize and you remember that the Anattalakkhana Sutta, step by step, Rupa, Vedana, Sankhara, and Vijnana, you remember and you recognize. That sinya, during listening and during capturing this sinya, they are vanishing rapidly. So meditators are very practical because you are noting every phenomena occurring at the six senses, presently arising object, you never miss, you capture thoroughly. And you capture sinya very well. Then Buddha asks, that sinya, which is impermanent, is the suffering or happiness? The answer, dukkha bande. That sinya, which is impermanent, that is suffering bande. And Buddha asks, satisfactory or unsatisfactory? Dukkha bande, unsatisfactory. And Buddha asks again, now that sinya, which is impermanent, unsatisfactory, subject to change, it is proper to regard the sinya as this is mine, this I am, this is myself. And the five bhikkhus answer, not proper bandi. So these are the same types of question and answer. It is necessary to know only how sinya is attached to craving, conceit, and wrong view. Generally, people who cannot contemplate on the phenomena of mind-body process, they are pleased with sinya, clinging to it as this recognized thing is mine. They think I have better intentive memory. I have good memory. I have better retentive memory than other people, and they are proud of their memory. Their IQ is so high. So they are proud of their senior. So this is clinging by conceit, and this I am, this is clinging by conceit. And they think also that every act of seeing, hearing is recognized and remembered by me. So that is atta clinging to sinya, this is myself. So actually the sinya perception which retains every object as seen so as not to forget it is impermanent because it arises and vanishes instantly. So meditators are ever watchful, and you know sinya to be impermanent because sinya is seen, arising and vanishing instantly, unpleasurable suffering because of its impermanence. And you know sinya may retain memory of terrible things, and so they are oppressing and suffering. Some bad memories, shocking memory, abominable memory, and terrible memory, these sinya are really oppressing and suffering. So it does not exist in one form, but keeps on changing. So sinya is after all not desirable as something pleasant, nothing to be take pride in as everlasting, nothing to cling to as self or living entity. So the five monks replied, it is not proper to regard sinya as this is mine, this I am, this is myself. So when Buddha asks the question to meditators, you have to answer, sinya niccava anicavati. So you have to answer anicca bhandi because now you are recognizing the song. You are listening this Dhamma talk very attentively. You recognize what he say, what he say. So you recognize and remember the sinya is disappearing at the moment of your capturing the sinya. The sinya is disappearing. So it is true that sinya is impermanent. And Buddha asks another question. Yampana nechan dukkhan vatan sukhan vati. That sinya which is not permanent, it is satisfactory or not satisfactory. So it is disappearing and is impermanent. You understand it is not good. It is not satisfactory. And another question Buddha asks, Yampana nechan dukkhan viparinama dhammam kalanutan samnupasiton etamama esamasmi esami attati. That sinya, which is not permanent, suffering, subject to change, is it proper to delight in it, taking it as this sinya is mine, this recognition is mine, or to take pride in it, thinking this I am, or to cling to it wrongly as this is myself? Question by Buddha, you answer, no hitam bandi. It is not proper, the Blessed One. Because you are observing the sinya, you are capturing the sinya, your answer are correct if you practice precisely. So these questions are asked by the Buddha so as not to let you cling with craving and pride to the impermanent, suffering, changing Sanya as this is mine, this I am. Also not to let the common worldling cling to it with wrong view of self. So the question by Buddha regarding Sanya. Then Buddha continue another Khanda, Sankhara Khanda. Regarding Sankhara Khanda, Buddha asks, Sankhara Nijawa Anijawadi are Sankharas volitional activities, permanent or impermanent? Asked the Blessed One, and the 5 monks answered, no, Anijam Bandi. Volitional activities are not permanent, the Blessed One. So Sankharas are very important. Sankharas are volitional motivation responsible for our physical, vocal, and mental action. So Sankhara are 50 kinds of mental concomitants headed by Chetana volition. Sankhara volitional activities cover an extensive field. The motivating power behind all our physical action, such as going, standing, sitting, lying, bending, stretching, moving. They are Sankhara. The vocal action are caused by the same Sankhara agents. Now I am talking and you are listening. I am talking, you are listening, as urged on by our Sankhara. Who is talking? Who is listening? Talking and listening are urged by the Sankhara, while thus talking and reciting, every word uttered has been urged by the Sankhara. It is the Sankhara also which is at the back of all our thoughts and imagination. But ordinary people think that all the action, physical, verbal, and mental, are being done by me or self. And this self, the doer, is believed to be everlasting, permanent. But yogi are very, very careful. Nothing can be cheated. Because you are ever watching, you are ever watchful of every phenomena. Starting from rising and falling of the abdomen, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, stretching, bending, everything you are watching. You take note of any activity of the mind as soon as it occurs. Chetana volition accompanied by lobha, desire. You captured lobha, desire is to be arousing, desire to want, and urging to go after that which is wanted. You capture the Sankhara. These mental activities as liking, lacking, wanting. Sometimes anger arises. Associated with dosa, volition, appears as anger, outrage. You capture it as angry, outrageous. And sometimes you capture the moha, delusion. When headed by delusion, wrong actions are thought about, and these thoughts have to be captured by the yogis. And sometimes meditation is very good, and you're very proud of your good meditation. When associated with conceit and ego, he becomes bloated with ego, and he has to get rid of it by noting conceit, etc. Sometimes when accompanied by envy, jealousy, avariciousness, it manifests as envious, avariciousness, etc. A yogi captured these akusala sankhara, unwholesome volitional formation. It is in daily life, but during the retreat, most of the time, kusala sankhara. Volition appears associated with faith and confidence, devotion and piety, develops towards the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. You have a very good family, and in daily life you have parents and also filial piety develops towards your parents, and these Sankhara urge you to give homage and respect to them. Now you are in the respectful position. That is wholesome Sankhara. They are urging you. Pay homage to the Triple Gem. Listen to the Dhamma attentively. So they are urging the meditators. They are wholesome Sankhara. So these mental state, these Sankhara, Saddha, etc. arises. Yogi capture as soon as they arise. Devotion, piety, etc. And akusala, unwholesome, leads to unwholesome results. And Chetana may manifest itself, discouraging one from it, hindering it. And wholesome deeds leads to wholesome results. And Chetana may arise for one to practice it. So volition may manifest in a number of ways, and as such, yogi captured. And also it may appear accompanied by mindfulness during the practice of meditation. Mindfulness, the kinds of sankhara, kusala sankhara, you capture it, heedful of the fact at such and such a time, and such a wholesome acts will be done. So it may arise in various manner, and the mental attitudes of those moments should also be noted by the yogis. During the group meditation, you have loving kindness, and loving kindness meditation, you develop a metta arises with devotion. There appears feeling of benevolence to other people, thinking of ways of making others happy. And suffering people you encounter and compassion arise. With compassion, volition arises, having pity on other people, thinking of how to help these people out of suffering. So these Kusala Sankhara, wholesome Sankhara arise, and you capture these mental states. All these mental attitudes should be carefully noted. So when noting rising and falling of the abdomen, if there is feeling of stiffness or heat appearing, also yogi capture it. As they are being noted, there appear the thoughts and the urge to bend, stretch, and change postures. So these should have been captured by the meditators. Then there is the urge. Stretch your body, keep upright, or raise the head, move forward and backward, and get up and walk here and there. So these are physical activities conditioned and willed by the volition. So all these sankhara are captured by the meditators. Then there is volitional urging concerning vocal activities, urging and directing what to say and how to say, how to chant. Just like now I'm talking as willed by Kusala Sankhara, the intention is to share the Dhamma, good intention, that is Kusala Sankhara. So the meditators keeping constant track of all these volitional activities, you realize with your personal experience that these activities appear and vanish instantly. And so they are impermanent. And the 5 monks had become Sotapanna through their own knowledge of the nature of impermanence. So when Buddha delivering the Anattalakkhana Sutta, they listened to this discourse and they saw again the nature of impermanence. By perceiving the constant rising and falling of the Sankhara, and now when I talk, you can capture the manasikara, attention, and when you understand the Dhamma, the faith in the Dhamma, saddha, and your mindfulness, heedfulness to the talk, that is sati, you capture it, and pasak, ear contact, also you capture, pasa, chetana, manasikara, saddha, sati. These sankhara, during listening to the talk, you capture very well, and they are very breakable and fragile. As soon as you capture, they gone. So regarding this, Buddha asks, is sankhara permanent or impermanent? Sankhara nijjava anijjava. And the 5 bhikkhus answer, anicca. These sankharas are not permanent. Also, yogi can answer very truly like these with these correct answer. So we will continue next time. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by noting rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.